Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing my last mock draft of the cycle, and this one is going to be a predictive mock on what I think will happen tomorrow night in the NFL draft. We're going to get this started pretty quick here and go with Bryce Young as the first player off the board. I think he will be the first overall pick. It's pretty consensus, but who knows? Pick 2 now. I do think the Texans will actually take a quarterback this year. I'm going to have it being CJ Stroud here. I don't think they're willing to pass up one that could be a really, really solid player with great accuracy. We've seen Stroud. We've seen what he can do, and you don't know where you'll be next year, so I have them going Stroud at 2. Now, the Cardinals here, I will have trading, but it will only be one spot with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to have this trade going through. It doesn't matter the compensation. We're only doing one round here, so don't worry about that. But the Colts are going to take Will Levis, who's ready to play immediately. He's 24 years old, a little bit more seasoned than Anthony Richardson is when it comes to how much they played in college, and I think they need a guy that can start right away. The Cardinals are now back at pick 4. They gain some compensation, and they will gain Will Anderson Jr., probably the best player in this draft class if I had to guess, and they will love where they are, getting some compensation and the player they wanted anyways. The reason the Colts moved up, by the way, is so that no one else would move up to that spot and snatch their quarterback there, since Arizona is looking to trade back. Pick 5 now. I am going to have the Seahawks picking the successor, Anthony Richardson, who can sit behind Geno for a bit. I think the Seahawks aren't naive. I think they know that Geno is not their forever solution. So Anthony Richardson has the opportunity to sit and learn and really develop at the age of 21, and this is the perfect spot for him here. Now, pick 6 is here on the board, and I do think that this pick will end up being Christian Gonzalez, pure press man corner that has fluid hips, can run with players off the line, runs routes for wide receivers at times. I think the Lions will covet that and really, really like that. And that brings us to pick 7 with the Las Vegas Raiders here. And I do think that the Raiders will go Peter Skoronski, who has in and out versatility. He can play some guard because of his shorter arms. He may struggle at tackle, but they need all O-line positions, so he can go wherever they need him the most off rip. So pick 7, Skoronski. Pick 8 now. We are here, and Jalen Carter is still here. So is Tyree Wilson. And I do think that Tyree Wilson will be the pick here. They need edge help very badly. The Falcons had the worst pass rush in the league last year. I think they had 20 total sacks, so this will help a ton. Tyree Wilson has a lot to him. He's kind of this year's Trayvon Walker when it comes to physical traits. Maybe not as physical as Trayvon Walker was as a prospect, but Tyree Wilson would be a great pick at number 8 for sure. Pick 9 now. I think the Bears traded back, and they still get Jalen Carter, who's falling down the board due to his off-the-field issues, and Bears fans would be so, so happy as they're getting a probably top 1 talent in this class. Pick 10 here, the Eagles are up, and Devin Witherspoon's sitting right here for them. I know people want Bijan, but I think that running back may be a little early here. I know he's a great player, and it would be very justifiable for them to go here, but this is predicted. This is what I think will happen, and they have some aging corners such as Bradbury and Slay. Slay will be 33 next offseason. Give him Devin Witherspoon. Replenish this room sooner than later, and I love Witherspoon a ton. He went to a high school right near me, and the dude is a beast. Plays kind of like Jalen Ramsey-esque. Pick 11 here. It's always been tackle for the Titans here, and they get the best one in the draft, in my opinion. Paris Johnson. He will have a few wrinkles to develop, but he is such a beast. What an athlete at his size. Man is crazy. Pick 12 now. The Texans are on the board, and we went Stroud earlier. A lot of people want Jackson Smith and Jigba here. Give them the duo. I'm going Nolan Smith because of what DeMeco Ryans can do with this kind of prototype and this kind of frame at the edge. I think he can do so many things with Nolan Smith, and Nolan Smith showed to be one of the most interesting and dynamic players. His first step is ridiculous, swallows up the quarterback, doesn't let him get anywhere, works great in space. Nolan Smith is a beast. Pick 13 now, I have the Packers going Jackson Smith and Jigba, getting Jordan Love, his first really nice weapon. Christian Watson, also very good. Dubs will be all right, but they do need a receiver badly, and I think this is one of those scenarios where we look at this and say, holy cow, they finally pick an offensive player once Rodgers leaves. I can see the narrative. So pick 14 now, the Patriots are up, and I have the Patriots going Brian Branch here out of Alabama. Gives Belichick a guy that he can move around and use as a tool in the secondary, where they do need some help for sure. And Belichick with Branch is going to be a scary sight, I'm not going to lie to you. Don't let him get his hands on a versatile piece in the secondary because he's going to make him really good. Pick 15 now, I have the Jets still swinging on tackle. Young Broderick Jones, who still has a lot of potential. He struggles laterally a little bit, as I talked about with my friend Ephraim yesterday in the mock draft we did. But I still believe that he has a lot of potential, and they are going to keep swinging on tackle until they get it right. Pick 16, the Commanders are on the board, and I have the Commanders going Deonte Banks out of Maryland, who's a great athlete and has really risen his stock throughout the pre-draft process. He has a lot of things to like about his game, and I like him a little bit more than Joey Porter just out of his physicality and his quickness. Pick 17 now, the Steelers are on the clock, and Darnell Wright is here, but so is Joey Porter. Who do I think they will pick? I do think that they will pick Darnell Wright here, if I had to guess. We're going to solidify that tackle spot, get Dan Moore out of town, hopefully, and give them Darnell Wright, plug him in, have a new starting tackle. That is what I would guess would happen there. Pick 18, the Detroit Lions. I think this one may be a little controversial, but my pick here would be Bryan Bresee. I think Dan Campbell loves him a ton, both on the field and off the field. He struggled with a lot of off the field, not his fault things, just unfortunate events throughout his senior year of college. So I think Dan Campbell will love Bresee, and pick 18 is a great way to address that line after getting Christian Gonzalez. Pick 19, I have Bijan Robinson going and finally giving them their run game back in Tampa Bay. Truly believe this could be the solution there, and I know that you're going to see what Trask has, possibly Baker Mayfield as well. You have to have a run game. Rachaad White is not a 3-down back. You got to have someone back there, and it's going to be Bijan Robinson, who can even play receiver for you, man. It's crazy. Pick 20 now, the Seahawks are up, and I have the Seahawks here going Zay Flowers, finding a dynamic playmaker. They're going to need a Lockett replacement. I know that Zay Flowers is less of a route runner than Lockett is, but Zay Flowers gives you a tool that can absolutely be crazy after the catch and really show you a lot. He just really refreshes that wide receiver room, and that will bring us to pick 21 with the Chargers here. And I have the Chargers going with Jordan Addison, who gives them someone that is not as big as Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Finally, someone that can run routes. He's not necessarily the speed they need, but he is the route running ability that can really score on all three levels, from short routes to medium routes to deep routes. So the Ravens here at pick 22. My biggest need that I think that they will take will honestly be corner, and I'm going to have them taking Joey Porter here out of Penn State, who a lot of people want the Steelers to take. I think it would be pretty ironic if the Ravens ended up taking them. And I do think that Joey Porter definitely could be a Raven. Joey Porter, with his length and ability to really lock onto receivers, can make up for his lack of speed and agility on inside routes. I really like him a lot. Brings us to pick 23 here with the Vikings. And the Vikings, I will have taken Kalijah Kancey here. Gives them pass rush up the middle. They really need defensive help all over the place, but I don't really like a corner here enough for them to take possibly Cam Smith, but I am going to go Kancey there, and gives them a pass rush up the middle, even though he does lack a bit of size. Pick 24 here, the Jaguars are on the clock, and here, this is also a tough one. I am going to be giving the Jaguars here Lucas Van Ness, and giving them another tool. They got Trayvon Walker last year. This year they're going to get Van Ness to move around on that D-line and really be a beast. And that is my pick for the Jaguars. Pick 25, the New York Giants are on the clock. And I have the Giants here taking Quentin Johnston. I know that they got enough wide receivers, but this is predictive. This is what I think will happen. I think they'll covet Johnston's size and ability to create after the play. And I think that giving Daniel Jones this big contract is going to make them want to pick a receiver, even though they probably shouldn't. Pick 26. The Cowboys are on the clock, and I have them taking Michael Mayer here and giving them their replacement for Dalton Schultz. He's really good at blocking, really good at receiving, probably the best tight end in this class. Mayer could be great value there at 26, and gives them a traditional tight end that they really need now that Dalton Schultz is gone. I know they had Peyton Hendershot, but Michael Mayer is a much better tight end. Pick 27, the Bills are up. I'm going to have them taking Osiris Torrance here, who is a very good guard out of Florida. He played very well against Jalen Carter this past season when they played Georgia. And the Bills do need guard help, need to solidify the line for Josh Allen. Give him guard, give him Osiris Torrance, keep Josh Allen protected. Pick 28 now, the Cincinnati Bengals are up, and I'm going to have the Bengals taking Darnell Washington because I do think that they would covet an extra lineman and gives them a really good red zone threat other than Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins would be the real one. So Darnell Washington would be very nice on that Bengals team. I think they will pick him. Pick 29 here, Myles Murphy, lock it in. I really like that fit for the Saints that need edge help now that Marcus Davenport's gone and Cam Jordan is getting older. So Myles Murphy to the Saints. Pick 30 here, the Eagles. Earlier I had them taking Devin Witherspoon. Here I'm going to have them taking Will McDonald, who I think can go in the first round and probably will go in the first round. Eagles sound like a pretty appropriate spot there for Will McDonald. And this brings us to pick 31, the final pick of the first round. I'm going to have the final pick of the first round being Adebaware out of Northwestern. And that is my mock draft. I don't know if it'll pop up on here, but we can look at it on here. This is what I think will happen. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, trade up for Levis from the Colts. Will Anderson at 4. Anthony Richardson to be Geno's successor. Gonzalez at 6. Skoronski at 7. Tyree Wilson at 8. Jalen Carter at 9. Witherspoon at 10. Paris Johnson to the Titans. Nolan Smith to the Texans. Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Packers. Brian Branch, Broderick Jones, Deonte Banks, Darnell Wright. Brian Brzee to the Lions, Bijan to the Buccaneers, Zay Flowers to the Seahawks, Jordan Addison to the Chargers, Joey Porter to the Ravens, Kalijah Kancey to the Vikings, Van Ness to the Jags, Johnston to the Giants, Michael Mayer to the Cowboys, Osiris Torrance to the Bills, Darnell Washington to the Bengals, Myles Murphy to the Saints, Will McDonald IV to the Eagles, and Adetomiwa Adebaware to the Chiefs. That is my final predictive mock draft. It's been such a blast going through mock drafts this offseason. My first offseason, I've learned a ton, done a ton of research. I'm excited for my future off seasons where I will know more and be more equipped. But this was so fun, and thank you for everyone for watching my prior mock drafts and this whole pre-draft process. Thank you for my subscribers and the people that have joined me early here with my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it all. And this is it. I'm out. Have a good draft tomorrow, and super excited. Leave your comments on who you think will go where and what I'm wrong on. Let me know. I don't care. Just criticize me as much as you want. Go for it. All right. Thank you so much. Peace.